Life got busy and you promised yourself that when things calm down, you will start creating again. But weeks turned into months, maybe even years, and those sketchbooks started collecting dust. Now that creative itch is back, but so is the question that stops you. Is it even worth the effort to start again? I've asked this question myself, and I found something very surprising. It's this one concept that you don't even realize is stopping you from starting your art again. And it's hiding behind 4 lies that we tell ourselves. But once you spot which one is holding you back, it's a lot easier to move forward and start creating art again. I'm guessing if you're watching this video, besides for just that itch to create art again, you've been feeling guilty, frustrated that you can't get back into art. And you've also questioned whether you're even a creative or an artist after all this time. You definitely are. But let me ask you something now. What has changed that has made you want to question whether you can even do it again? This all ties into that one concept that is holding you back. And you've definitely heard of this concept before. It is crazy how much this holds on our lives. But this concept that I'm talking about that has been holding you back, that has stopped you from creating art up until this point, it is called this little thing called procrastination. I know you don't think it applies here. It doesn't make sense. How on earth could procrastination be hiding behind not being able to do this? Life has been so busy, so hectic. It's impossible. But it actually is. And in order to understand how procrastination has been stopping you, you actually have to understand what procrastination actually is, because we've all heard the concept, but nobody, I think, has really looked up what it is. Procrastination is all about not doing something. That's literally what it is. But in this case, procrastination has another element. The reason why most people procrastinate is because they fear something. They fear doing the thing. In this case, is if you're an artist who has been procrastinating, you have feared making art. But that doesn't make sense, does it? If you haven't gotten back into art yet, you are scared of something. But procrastination is starting to loosen its hold on you, because at this point, you've stopped fearing creating art, and you've started fearing that you'll never create art again. And therefore, you are more driven to create art. But you're still telling yourself a few lies that are getting in your way and is keeping procrastination's hold on you. They're still holding on to you because of the cost that it's going to take to create art again. So where is procrastination hiding? What lies are we telling ourselves that is keeping procrastination's grip on us? And how can we get it to release so that you can start creating art again? Let's run through these 4 lies. So this way you just know what they are. And if you want, you can leave the video after this, but you might want to hang on so that you can actually hear where they are affecting your life. The first lie is, I have no time, I'm too busy, and I don't even have time to breathe, let alone do art. The second lie you tell yourself is that I should be more productive with my time, and art is not very productive. Number 3 is the money one. You tell yourself that it's expensive, but it is a lie, and I'll get into that later. The last one, number 4, it is the lie of, I don't know if I should start again because I might be starting over, and I don't even know if I'm still good or if I have what it takes to create art. Now let's run through them and unpack what they actually mean for you. Let's start with the first lie. You tell yourself that life is too busy and you have no time. It is very true that life gets busy the older you get. Once you start having kids, you have a job. Oh yes, it absolutely becomes very hard to balance creativity and life and you. But you do actually have more time than you think. And I'm not talking about getting up earlier or going to bed later. You probably need all the sleep you can get. So I've made several videos on this. You're more than welcome to check them out. But in this instance here, just to give you a quick win, you don't actually have to change the way you do things. You do have to look at how you're using your time currently and see if there is something that you can move around or give up so that you can make time for your art, even if it's just once a week. Take this example. Let's say you cook dinner every single night, and it takes you about an hour to cook dinner. But if you have leftovers one night, then you have gained an hour of time for your art, even if it's just once a week. Now moving on to number 2, and this one might be more for the parents in the room, especially the mothers, who tend to have more of this guilt associated with them. Number 2, it is that you are telling yourself that you can be more productive if you do not spend time on your art. That is true. You can definitely do more stuff if you are not spending time on your art. But this does have a backlash. If you are creative and you will feel fueled by your art, then you are not filling your cup up. It's a psychology therapist kind of way of saying it. You need a full cup in order to give to other people. If your cup of water has nothing in it, then when you go to pour to somebody else's cup, take care of your husband, your kids, your partner, you try to do stuff at your job, there's not going to be anything for you to pour into that cup. By taking the time and spending it on your art, you are becoming more productive because you are refueling yourself and you're taking care of yourself so that you can give to other people, So art becomes refueling for you. I feel like I said that several times over, but it is true. And as you can tell, I feel very passionate about that one because it was a lie that I told myself for a long, long time. But let's move on to number 3. As I mentioned before, it is all about finances and the expenses. And financial stability is something that is so important to so many artists because we do not have financial stability if you go into a career in art. So if you put aside your art because you want to pursue a career that would definitely make you money, that is completely understandable and very, very realistic. But it sometimes does not leave a lot of time for your hobbies. Not to mention, there is also the fact that art is a very expensive hobby, no matter what you prefer doing, from knitting to sculpting. In fact, if you take the sculpting example, you could be a sculptor who needs a big workspace or used to need a big workspace, and you like to work with granite and you need all the tools. That is expensive. The reason why this is a lie that you are telling yourself that it is too expensive to start your hobby again is because you are thinking on that grand scale of ye olde days of when you first started this. You might not be able to do that right now. If that is the case where it is too expensive to start this hobby again, instead of thinking back to those old days of when you used to have this big space to work on and all these expensive tools, and you can't do that again because of your finances, instead of trying to do that, start by downsizing. If you are that sculptor and you needed that big workspace, see if you can move that into your dining room. Can you, instead of doing these big blocks, can you work with smaller blocks of granite, smaller blocks of wood, maybe even modeling clay? Immediately the costs go down. And finally, we are up to the 4th lie you may be telling yourself. And that is, I don't want to start over from the beginning. And I'm scared that I might. Again, that is procrastination talking because I want to let you in on a little bit of truth here. And I'm going to be blunt about this, so forgive me. When you first start creating art again, because I do hope you do that, now that you know about all these lies, your first piece will not be Michelangelo. It will be a Pablo Picasso. Because right now, when you first get back into starting, you do not have the dexterity that your fingers used to have on whatever art you choose you want to do. But the reason why you are still good and why you are still great and why you can get back into this without starting over is you still have all the knowledge from when you were doing this. You know about composition, lighting, space. What are the others off the top of my head? Perspective. You know all of the different pieces that go into making great art. Right now, it's just remembering the fine motor skills to create it. I really do hope these lies are now, abolished in your head. And if you've thought any of these, and if I was spot on with any of them, can you just comment yes or no? I'd love to know if there's any other artists out there who have realized that procrastination has been their biggest holdback from starting again. And my biggest point in all of this is that there is always going to be a way to create and to add art to your life. It's just a question of how you're going to do it. But if you're still worried you don't have time, I break down exactly how you can find time in your busy life. And this is without the extra to-dos. Or if you've had enough deep thoughts for right now and you just want to have some fun seeing what somebody can create on limited time and sleep, just check out this video right here.